All right, so yeah, yet again, Oblivion Remastered has been updated with a brand new patch for some of you, but there's some steps that you need to take to really make sure that this patch is actually working. Plus, Bethesda also confirms what they're looking into with future updates and patches. We're going to go over that together. And Bethesda is also looking into even more suggestions from the community, and these are really, really good ones. I hope that they make it into the game. And also, yeah, we got to talk about one playstyle that was neglected in the original Oblivion for good reason, and now, guess what? It's making an epic return. And as always, I'm going over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video, so let's do this. Also, yeah, to sidestep real fast, I did a sponsored video with Crystal of Atlan and played their brand new upcoming action-heavy MMO game, which looks absolutely beautiful, by the way. I love the art style here, but I had a blast with this game. I have to say, it's some of the best combat I've ever experienced in MMO, and that's why I'm really excited for it. Now, it also has co-op in it, and of course, PvP, plus 4 different classes that you can choose from, which splinter out into different subclasses. And it's also got this very beautiful, fully realized world that is just a joy to explore. So yeah, by all means, be sure to check out my Crystal of Atlan video on the channel in that description below. And yes, a special thank you to Crystal Atlan for sponsoring that video. But yeah, let's go and hop into the Oblivion news right now. Starting out with that official update straight from Bethesda. Yes, the game was patched, but again, not for everyone. This was for anyone on Xbox and PC Game Pass. But check it out right here. They say this: we're planning to push our Microsoft PC hotfix out today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This is already out, by the way, by now. It said it will address the upscaling and anti-aliasing issues some players experience with Friday's hotfix. Also, my V-Sync has been fixed as well. There's one thing that was really annoying me. But anyway, back to this. They did note this. It's important. Just as a heads up, players need to reselect their upscaling setting preferences after the hotfix, as they will have reset. But yeah, I guess it wouldn't be a Bethesda game without any problems, all right? But anyway, mentioning problems, yes, Bethesda did respond out on their official support page as the things that they are looking into fixing with future patches. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we have the first one: why can't I progress in the arena in Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered? So they did have a little bit of a workaround currently right now, but it looks like they're looking into fixing this. So they go on to say this: if you do experience where the arena is not progressing, such as the time or the equipped raiment not being recognized, proceed with the following steps. Reload a save from before you enter the arena area, fast travel out of the quest area and come back. Bound equipment workaround goes like this: use a spell that summons bound equipment such as bound gauntlets or bound armor. These spells temporarily replace your current equipment with the summoned items. Remove the bound equipment, and then this can be done by using the spell effect or simply waiting for the spell duration to expire. Re-equip the arena raiment, talk to Owen again, and then fast travel out of the arena area, wait, sleep for 3 in-game days, and come back. Completely exit out of the game and restart the game is also an option. And then if applicable, disable and remove all mod add-ons you have installed. So that can also cause problems in the arena as well. But yeah, it's good to note that they are looking into fixing this one down the road. I gotta say, I absolutely love the arena, and I kind of wish there was more plot lines around the arena. I gotta say, it's just my thing. I love it to death. But anyway, let's keep going, because there's also this I did want to sidestep and mention to you guys. Don't forget to stare at sparring fighters, and this is, of course, at the Blades hideout. But let me zoom in here for you guys. By observing these Blades at practice, you've picked up on a couple new moves. Your blade and block skills have both been raised by 2 points. So yeah, just remember to watch those sparring fighters for that extra bonus. That's going to be super helpful. But let's get back to Bethesda support and see what they had to say here. So we have another one here: why can't I see the light type spells like Starlight in first person? This has been extremely frustrating for me personally, because I use those type of spells all the time in Skyrim. And they say this: we're aware of an issue where light spells that are cast on your character, such as Starlight, are not visually appearing while in first person. If you switch from third person back to first person, it may resolve the issue. The issue will be resolved in a future update. So that is 100% confirmed that they are working on resolving that one in a new patch. Which, again, when that patch does roll out for everyone, I'm assuming this is going to be universal for all platforms, including Steam, PlayStation, and so on. I will have those patch notes for you guys, so stay tuned. Also, make sure you turn on the bell notification icon, subscribe to the channel so you guys get that update. But we also have, what do I do if my character is too tall and can't fit into some areas in Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered? So So they do go on to confirm that they are aware of 2 issues with character height, and these will also be resolved in a future update. So characters are the same height regardless of what race they choose, and characters are very tall in first person, which can prevent the character from being able to fit in some areas. But they do have a workaround. If you do run into this issue, exit the game and come back in and try the spot if you can't get through. What a pain in the butt. Thankfully, this has not happened to me yet. Hopefully it does not. Let me know if this is happening to any of you guys out there. I'm kind of curious. And we have, what can I do if I'm crashing while making potions in Oblivion Remastered? So if you are experiencing crashing while making potions or using alchemy, please see the following. Crafting speed. Creating potions too quickly can sometimes cause the game to crash, so try crafting a little bit slower. Stolen ingredients. Sometimes using stolen ingredients to craft potions can cause an issue. Try removing those from your inventory temporarily or fencing them before crafting. And then mod disabling, again, if you are using mods that conflict with this, yeah, they might cause issues. So yeah, there are some workarounds, but it looks like this is also on the list of things that they plan to address in the future. Now, moving beyond what Bethesda support had to say about fixes and updates, there are also things that are looking into potentially adding to the game as features, which would be really cool because they did add that section to Discord about suggestions, what you guys would like to see, and they are still replying out there actually, which is really cool to see. Now, this one was the highlight for me more recently. Check it out here. It says, add a horse whistle, please. My horse doesn't always appear at the nearest staple like it should. And then add first person camera angle to horse riding too. That's something I would love to see. And number 3, display current carrying weight when looting so we can avoid over encumbering ourselves. I have seen that third one mentioned over and over again. That would be a huge quality of life improvement for sure. But when it comes to, of course, being able to easily call upon your horse, right now it is a pain. It's very random. You never know where your horse is going to be. And I understand they wanted to keep it very original to, you know, Oblivion, of course. But I think that that does deserve an update for sure. It's just a mechanic that I'm so used to in many open world games. And it's super helpful just to whistle and have your horse appear. Also, we do have this one right here. The game needs a photo mode. The new lighting inside caves and ruins makes the environments absolutely gorgeous. And the only current way to hide the HUD and move the camera is console commands that permanently remove your ability to unlock achievements. An added bonus would be the screenshot loading feature from 76 Starfield, but that would be a lot harder to implement, I imagine. Yeah, this game is gorgeous, you know? Considering that, yeah, it's built on a 20-year-old game, they did some magic with this one on Unreal Engine 5, and it is most deserving of a photo mode for sure. All right, so we got to talk about a playstyle that was kind of neglected in the original Oblivion. Check out this article right here from Games Radar. It says this: Oblivion Remastered has learned one big thing from Skyrim's 14-year RPG reign. Stealth archers are back, and I'm convinced they're better than ever. I gotta ask, how many of you are playing as a stealth archer? Sound off. It's interesting. Usually I do have like a bow with me most of the time. With this playthrough with Oblivion Remastered, I am going all in on like the battle mage type experience. And currently I'm completely neglecting the bow and arrow, and I'm gonna have like a whole separate play style dedicated to that. But yeah, let's get into this article and find out what they have to say here. So it says, back in 2006, being a stealth archer in Oblivion kind of sucked. Using a bow had less oomph than magic or melee, of which neither had much to begin with, and you would often have to fiddle around with poisons to make archery's damage comparable to the rest of the combat triangle. Stealth made your opening shots fine, but by the time your sneak was high enough to rely on it consistently, you were better served waltzing right up to an enemy undetected and hacking them to pieces. Yeah, that probably would be the go-to stealth method for sure. But it seems like, hey, things have changed. As the article goes on to read, but things are different now. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered gives Cyrodiil a much-needed makeover, of course, sure, but it also makes smart tweaks to the original game's sorest pain points. Leveling up is no longer the inscrutable beast it once was. Enemy scaling has been eased up, and combat feels better across the board. Hell yes, totally agree about that. Now, marksman perks have been adjusted too, and at higher levels, your arrows have a great, I'm quoting the perk itself, chance of paralyzing the target. I can't verify how great it actually is, given my character is still starting out, but given 2006 Oblivion only offered a measly 5% chance of paralyzing someone and only at Master Level 2, the bar is pretty low. Now, finally, the article does say this: what I can verify, using a bow is so much better. Harsh arrow drop means you'll still need to eyeball each shot carefully. You're firing at medium to long range, a good thing, I promise. But more importantly, it's all livelier. The animation to knock and loose an arrow is much less stiff, while enemies actually react to being feathered with consistent staggering and blood splatter effects. I also feel like I'm doing more damage than I ever have with ranged weapons in Oblivion, and have dropped a number of plate armored baddies before they could get close enough to force a sword fight. That's always been like the issue with using a bow, is it feels like it's, at least to me, has been secondary. So it's good to know that they really elevated that experience in Oblivion. I gotta again ask, how many of you are going after this playstyle as like your main currently? I'm so curious, because I gotta try it, because I think it sounds like a ton of fun. All right, so you guys know what time it is. It's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video, so let's do this. All right, so let's see what you guys had to say here. Bethesda, please do not highlight items or give them some kind of shimmer. Leave that one alone. It's immersive. I totally agree with you guys on that one. I was kind of curious your take. That's why I always ask you guys, what do you think about this one? This is an interesting discussion, and the majority of you cannot stand the idea of having like tons of items highlighted and text over and pop up. It sounds very cluttered, and it does not work in Oblivion or Elder Scrolls. It might work in Baldur's Gate 3. It's just a different game, you know? Now we have, imagine being an adventurer, stopping at an inn, and you notice some other rough-looking adventure types. You sit down and grab some ale, and casually chime into their conversation about the last cave they delved into. You say, as for my last cave I went into, I struggled to find anything worth a septum until I pulled out my torch. Can you believe that? The adventurer would laugh you out of the inn. I cannot believe people are complaining about having to use a torch in somewhere like a cave or a ruin. Yeah, and it adds like the lighting. I love the lighting of the torch, and it just feels very dark and somewhat isolating, which is really cool, heading into a dungeon, having that feeling and that danger. And it's far more immersive, like you guys mentioned. Also, yes, guess what? We have literal spells to light rooms. We don't need that extra hand-holding garbage. Yep, that was my go-to also in Skyrim. I would give up the torch and end up using that magic spell. But currently, I can't do that because it's just not working in Oblivion. And then we have folks crying about not using lighting spells or torches. Missing loot is annoying. Folks want games to hold their hand too much. And I'm seeing a trend more towards less hand-holding, which I think is great. And I think, you know, Ubisoft needs to pay attention to that sort of thing for sure. Of course, but I feel like this game is very freeing still. And yeah, there's a great balance between, you know, teaching the player things and also giving the player complete freedom. All right, so there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's the latest happenings around Oblivion Remastered. I have you guys covered on this one, so stay tuned for more news and updates. And I will see you all next time. Take care.